might be wondering how this works. You have a valve, and then you have a little O-ring, and that little sucker, and it just pushes in there and seals, and then that just locks it in. Here we go, we got a cold side and a hot side. Okay, here we go. Slow mode. Yep, slow. Coming through. About right there. Really? I don't know. Just trying to get air out of it. Yeah, the pump's running really slow. I might have to, it might not be primed, I might have to. Uh-oh. Come on, baby. Okay. So, probably just need to reprime the car. Nervous. Making sure I'm not losing it over here. God, there's just air everywhere. That ain't gonna cool a whole lot, is it? And there she goes. And this block is, yeah, the block it might have got up to about 89 degrees when I was running it without water in it. I don't suggest you run it without water, but you know, who cares, right? It's like Cuz race car. Just think the pump has air in it. Yep. It's on. Let's try putting it on full. Hey, it makes some movement then. Might just have to do that until the air gets out of the system, and I make sure that my manifolds are not leaking. So far so good. No, dry, 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 dry. Looks crazy. Looks crazy. Alright, come back in a minute. Alright. So I took it out of the slot, got the air bubbles out of it. Boy, does that make it easy. You can just pull it out of the slot, rig it all around, keep the bubbles out of it. Of course, I'm sure I might get a bubble back down the line, but it doesn't even look like it's moving. Like, you can't see anything coming in and out of that. Like, it's so weird. Water cooling is one of those things, you know? Like, it's just cool like that. So, that's running. I've got our first test here. It's coming up. See what kind of stats we get out of it. The temps are looking okay. Memory's running 59. GPU's running 45. We're just waiting for it to ramp up here. Just takes a little bit. .9, 59.79. And I could probably get a little more crazy with this memory clock because my memory is running good, 60C. I'm running plus 1100 right now. So that's got the core running at, yeah, memory's running at 1100 right now. That's cranked. We'll see how she does. Okay, so just a quick rundown. You know, the idea here is not to get more performance, while the net effect is you get some more performance because you're going water cooling. The big issue I want to do is get rid of 8,000 watts worth of cooling and go to a system that uses, you know, 500 watts or 1,000 watts so that I can move more video cards in here without more heat. So it's been running for a little while, and this is the net effect. See, so 43C memory cranked to 8100, 61.5 in Windows. Now look at my hot one, the rig in the same room. That's at the house. See, if it's cold enough at my house, these run great because it's ice cold in that room. But the ones in the same room, that's rig 11. They're detuned. Nope, not 11. 11's 3080s. 10. Rig 10. Yeah, see, I'm getting 55, and they're running 49 to 50, and they're detuned. I can't get the memory out of them. And this room's hot. It's like 89 degrees in here right now, even though there's 6 tons of AC being dumped into the room. But anyway, it's a success. Under Linux, I'll probably get 61, 62 mega hash. Awesome. Okay, so I replaced this from this piece of junk. And that's what came with the pump. I tried making it work, and I could not get this to seal. Still had a weeping seal to it, so I got the right adapter, put a little extension on there. If this leaks, I'm gonna have to put a union, and I'm gonna have to put a 2-inch union up here and then rebuild this to 1.5 if any part of this leaks going forward. So okay, so I've rebuilt that, and the next thing that we've done is we've already tested that yesterday. So now what we've done is we've tore apart one of the MSI 3080s, and one of the things I would point out is this stock paste on here, total crap. Like, it was borderline dried out. Interesting that they've got like a strip on the actual caps here and here. So they had these caps being touched. I can understand that, but the MOSFETs, your power stages, look at this crap. Like, it's on this bar, right? And the bar is just attached to some fins. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's attached to some fins. Like, what in the world do they think that? I mean, that can't be transferring that much. It can't be. Anyway, so here's the new block. We got the back. This is the back. Oh, speak. So we've got the back block going in, and then the front block. The front block's a good full coverage. So we'll see how this does. You know, I'm gonna clean them. I'm gonna clean that, and we'll see. It's still in the 90, 89 degree. We've got a cool front coming, I think. You know, it's going to knock our temperatures down at night, so that's going to help us. Like our best right now is like about 7.6 gigahertz. So, you know, we'll see what happens. So I took that 13080 out of that rig. But the first rig we're going to do is going to be 8 3080s on this one. 8 of them right now are kicking out about 63 amps. So we're gonna build number 15. We're gonna take it. We're gonna do water cooling on those and all of the 3070s. So that'll be 11 3070s. And 8 3080s, and we'll see what this does. I have the setup to run them individually on the cards, but I'm not real sure if I'm going to do that or not. So we'll find out about that, I guess. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when we water cool these. Right now, you know, it's about what, 1500 watts or so, 1700 watts, 1600 watts of heat, space heater basically. Between the two of them, you know, they're pushing 15, 16, 17, you know, 100 watts, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that. It's either pump it into the air so that those guys can take care of it, or it's pump it into water and send water out to the back. That's our options. And I personally like the water. There's a little bit more cost, you know, per card to do the water cooling, but you know, who cares? I mean, it beats having to build, you know, more cooling, and we can't scale that. Like this worked, right? It works, but we have another what, 50, 30, 70s or something at the house that, you know, I'd like to bring to this location, and you know, and set up another rack and put them in here, but I can't do that until I get rid of that 8,000 watts of power. I mean, you know, because it's either that or upgrade the service. I mean, and we could do that. You know, we've got 3-phase power here. We could definitely, you know, go big on the amps here. but I definitely like to, I like the KISS method, you know, keep it simple, stupid. And I would rather maximize and make efficient what I have in the mind now, to, you know, to, by making this efficient, upping the amps can be cost effective. If I just threw more cooling at it, you know, the cooling is 30%. Trying to do air cooling is 30% of the cost. It's the same thing as like a data center. Data center cost is about 30% in cooling, just in cooling, just moving air around and exchanging heat to the outside. And I don't want to go down that route. I would much rather transfer the heat via liquid than air. This air is horrible for heat transfer. At least here in Texas. Here in the deep south, it's hot. You know, like we just went through summer, and you know, summertime temperatures in this room with 6 tons of cooling, it was still 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit here, you know, in this room. And while that's fine, the GPUs can run at that, you know, like they're fine, but they're all detuned, especially the 3080s. The 3080s are all detuned, you know, getting anywhere from like 80 megahash, you know, like come on, that's not good. Water cooling, this room won't be hot. You know, the cards are going to do really good. So we'll see. You know, I'm hoping that we get 9095. If I get 9095 out of them all, we're over 8 gigahash easy. We'll be pushing 9 gigahash. So going from like 7.5 to 9 gigahash using the same hardware and dropping your power bill by like half to 2/3. Yeah, I'll pay $200 a card. You know what I mean? Like, you're already paying crazy amounts of money for the card anyway, and you know, it's 6 months, 8 months return. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? If you can cut your electric bill that much, you might as well do it. I mean, you might as well pay the extra cost and do it. So that's where we're at now. And tomorrow, I just did a bunch of repair work on the pump because my pump was leaking, and there wasn't. I'm sorry about the audio. You know, it's that bad on the GoPro. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. I mean, I guess I could find a mic that would not be. But there's wind in every direction in this room. Like the ACs are blowing across, the fans are moving. It's insane. Anyway, so I replaced the pump. The problem I've had with the water cooling setup is the pump keeps the output keeps leaking, and it was that stock part that came with it. You know, it was just crap. Like, you know, my plan here is to keep everything cost effective, and you know, and that's, you know, it's not that bad. The pump's only like, I think I paid $200 for it. You know, it's like a 4,000 gallon an hour pump. You know, and you know, like I said, the whole idea is that it's cost effective. I don't have to, you know, I have an easy replacement plan should that happen. I've even thought about running 2 pumps in series for the redundancy, because, you know, right now if I go switch to water cooling, I'm gonna have to, you know, my pump dies, I have to shut down, order a pump, you know, and I'm down all that time. So I definitely think that I'm gonna add in 2 valves, a section off, and redesign the pump side so that I can have a redundant pump in place that acts like emergency pump should the main fail. And I can get tricked with, you know, a microcontroller and put some relays in place and kick on the emergency pump should the flow come to a stop, you know, with a flow meter. That wouldn't be that hard to do, and sure would be nice, rather than having all the cards just like thermal off. I mean, you know, so right now it's all about keeping it simple, and I might put like input and output sensors, you know, on the lines. That wouldn't be that hard to do, to show you what I'm talking about. So it wouldn't be that hard to put some temperature sensors like right in here. That's my output, that's the hot output, that's the cold output. I could put flow meters on this, you know, put a flow meter in, and I'm just thinking like how I would do temp. But you know, that kind of stuff, that kind of stuff is coming. You know, I'm gonna have to do something to monitor that kind of thing. I'm not worried about my temps getting out of control. I mean, it's friggin' 60-gallon reservoir, you know, and the radiator, dual fans on that. So, and it pulls like 400 and some watts, you know, with the fans on and the pump on. It's like the wattage is so much better than 8,000 watts, you know, like, I mean, you know, I'm not, you know, it's not a joke. Like, I mean, look at my on hours. Oh, let's see, where can I see this? Well, yeah, machine records. Look at that. That boy, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says 2,600 hours. You know, and those things pour cold air. I mean, it's like the Arctic coming out of this side of the room. It's the Arctic here, and it's the desert behind this. You know, like it's insane. You know, when I first got into like big mining, I was just like, oh man, you know, the heat can't be that big of a deal. And I built my first rig, and that one rig was able to overwhelm my you know, my window units that I had at the time. So it's interesting. When I get a chance, I'll show the other place. But right now, this is it, up and running, and this is Brains Mine. Recapping, what we're doing right now is we've been set up. We're running on air cooling. Air cooling has been functional, but we're coming to the point where like we want to bring more GPUs into this building, and scaling that is not going to work. You just not for what we're doing. I like this building. I really don't want to move to another building. This building's ideal. It's 5 minutes from my house. You know, it really kind of would suck to just up and do another building. I mean, you know, it's always possible to do something like that, but yeah, I think that's the one spot in the building that doesn't have a ton of wind. You know, so I don't want to move everything to another place. Besides that, like, I've already got 3-phase power here. I can literally go to whatever. This is kind of like, you know, industrial area, so there's already like a ton of power here. The power is cheap. I mean, it's not hydro dam cheap, 4 cents or whatever they're paying. But I'm just slightly above that, so it's not bad. Less than 9 cents. So if I can get rid of the cooling, air cooling, you know, 6 tons of AC, and go to 500 watts, and if I had to put more fans on the radiator to cool the, you know, the total system's like 16 kilowatt. So if I could, you know, even if I had to add more fans, even if I had to add 500 watts more of fans to the radiator, to that big radiator that we got, you know, I would still only be at 1,000 watts. You know, a 7,000 watt difference. And that's not to mention, if I brought everything here, this is 8,000 watts, right? There's another 48,000 BTU running at the house in my data center there, and that's another couple thousand watts. You know, that's where the 2/3 difference would come in monthly bills, just putting that power. And that's the whole point of this. The whole point is to, you know, go from air cooling to water cooling. And while we're starting here, you know, I thought this would be a great time to go ahead and start up. I've watched a bunch of other miners, you know, guys like Red Panda and now, man, there's a bunch of them, you know, and those guys are great. They seem to have a little better temperature than the deep South Texas, and you know, and that's fine. We can make it happen though. You know, we'll find a way. You know, it might be a little more per card to do the water cooling. They're not bad. I'm getting them under $200 a piece for the Barrows. That's how you pronounce it. But it's even cheaper than that for the 3070s. It's not bad. I mean, you're adding $200 bucks. You know, by the time you do fittings, some tubes, your time and effort. You know, yeah, okay, I'm $200 per card. What? You know, so what? You know, I make that back in a month or two. Just not having to do air cooling. Yeah, so I don't. I'm just rambling at this point. I thought this would be a great time after watching all those guys and seeing how they do things. I thought it'd be a good time. Go ahead and start up my own channel. Show how we're doing it here in South Texas, Southeast, deep South, the land of humidity and heat. However, once we get into this like mid-October all the way to like March, April, we have excellent weather. It's really nice. You know, you're talking, you know, day weather. I mean, you can swim in November. You know, it's like, but it's nice. You know, it's 70s, 60s at night, 50s at night, whatever. So you know, we'll definitely get a boost in mining from that. Because this transfer over to water cooling, it's going to take a while. I don't know how much y'all would want to watch that. Watch us do this, tear down cards, whatnot. You know, any feedback you can give me, awesome. I know the camera and the audio quality is going to be kind of crap right now. Who cares, right? You're getting to see it. Other than that, I don't think, you know, I don't think that it warrants, you know, going big time production. But I do have friends in that audio video world that we might play around with, you know, definitely getting some B-roll, an intro and all that good stuff. This is also another channel to me. I've got other channels. I do Twitch, that kind of thing. So for gaming stuff, but this is the first time I really wanted to put a face to the name, show what I do. I mean, I'm an IT guy. I'm like 25 years IT, mainly in big data and marketing, stuff like that. So should be fun. Should be fun to show my hobby, because I do this more as hobby. This is all hobby to me, and you know, it's above and beyond my regular job and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to show, you know, what I do for fun. It's de-stressing. Like, even though it's stressful and like the payoff is so worth it. Like when, you know, I got the first 3070 hooked up water cooled, and I've done a whole lot of CPU water cooling and stuff like that, but I haven't done any GPU water cooling. This is the first time I've done GPU water cooling. I've taken apart plenty of GPUs to replace paste and pads and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't done actual water cooling on a GPU. But I've done a lot on CPU, so I'm just taking that knowledge and applying it to GPUs and going, yeah, it works. And according to yesterday's test, it worked just great. You know, it dumped the temperature, and we got a bunch of hash rate, and the heat was going out the room. So the theory is proven now. So now it's a matter of swapping all them bad boys over to water cooling. I've got all the cards ready to go, and whew, now it's just the time. I've got the 3070s down. I can do those pretty quickly now. The 3080s, that's the first one I took apart, and it came apart like a breeze. Them MSI cards, a couple of screws and boom, it's apart. So now it's going to be doing the front and back. I really wanted to maximize my efficiency on the 3080s because, you know, even when they're running hot and throttled, they're still getting 75, 80 mega hash. And cold and not bothered, they can get, you know, 90, 95. I'm really hoping that I can get them to 100 water cooler. If I can get them to 100, if I could get them to 92, I would be ecstatic. 90, I would be ecstatic. I'd be fine with 90. Anything over and beyond 90, seeing how the next video will probably be doing that, anything I can get over 90 mega hash off of those 3080s is just ice. It's just icing on the cake. And it'll be fun. So I'll be putting that together. I'll probably do a time lapse of that tomorrow because I'm waiting for the silicone to dry and all the new plumbing that I did today to dry. So that has to be dry before I can put water to it, because I'm really hoping it doesn't friggin' leak on me again. It's so annoying. So we'll see what happens. I thank you guys for watching, and we'll go from there. We'll see. You know, we'll have a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of fun. It's like I promised my wife, honey, if you marry me, I promise you, it'll never be boring. And I've kept that now for, oh my gosh, since 1994. So we'll see you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff that you do on socials. Or thumbs down it. Hey, shoot comments. Tell me how bad it sucks. I don't care. You know, I do read them. I will take feedback if it's constructive. Absolutely. You know, if you're a troll, hey, I'm a troll sometimes too. So have fun. You know, kill it. Later.